House of Rest. All right. Shalom, shalom, family. Welcome to House of Rest, where we're in a good season and time to be alive. And I'm Wesley Smith coming to you with day 72. And we have changed up the message a little bit because when I woke up today, I kept hearing, that the recompense of Yah, vengeance is mine. So this is what kept coming to the spirit. So we'll finish up probably Sunday, maybe Monday, with Deuteronomy chapter 30, returning to Yah. Now, I just been sitting back and thinking on a lot of things and just wondering, how we can allow the news media and social media and all these different things to really distract us. And not saying you, brothers and sisters of the community, but the majority, the masses of America, they played everybody with the toilet paper. They played everybody with the meat. I mean, and now they said, oh, we got them, right? We could get everybody to go out and buy toilet paper. We could definitely get everybody to jump on board with a man has died. It's so many holes in this story that just doesn't make any sense. So many holes. And something that I was thinking about is me and Tameka was talking this morning when we got up, and we were talking about how if it was a $20 bill, and I think I mentioned this to Lee last night, that was a counterfeit. Why would you stay when they called the police? Most people that are would just leave. They wouldn't wait on the police to get there. Why would you wait on the police to get there? And then you have certain stories emerging that these two guys, the cop and George Floyd, knew each other, which is also a tricky situation because there's so many holes with social media, and things that you can just piece together if you wanted to, kind of like how they do on Wikipedia, right? Just anybody can go on there and edit stuff. And so it makes you wonder. It makes you really sit back and wonder, what's the agenda? What's the purpose for causing mass hysteria? Now, it may not be mass hysteria in the well, it is kind of, because if you really stop and think about it, people are destroying stores, burning down businesses. Now, we just came out of a lockdown, right? As soon as the country get ready to start opening back up, all of a sudden this takes place. And if you notice, every time it's one of these senseless killings, it's always in one of the Midwestern states, right? Or states further out, going towards the west type deal, and I mean, I know that we had one that happened in Baltimore, and we had one that happened in Florida, right? And then we also had the one that happened in South Carolina, where they, complained about taking down the Confederate flag, which I don't see what difference a flag has to do with anything, right? It's all been being staged over and over and over again. And so if they could creep those little factors in, and use keywords like black guy killed by a white cop, if they could just sneak stuff in like that, right? And use certain words to play on the minds of people, and then they already have a little militia type group ready, to be out there to push the people's, motives, it is not right. And so many people are I heard a chant, no justice, no peace. What? But it's supposed to be a peaceful protest, but you're sitting there yelling, no justice, no peace. Now, if you ask me, the Black Lives Matter movement should be labeled a terrorist organization as well, because they're destroying American property. They're harming the American people. I thought that oaths were taken, right? Oaths were taken to protect, serve the community, to protect the people, whether the attack was foreign or domestic. And if you ask me, that's domestic violence, right? Because it's happening within our own borders, and yet we see the police tearing up their own vehicles and setting them on fire and doing all. I mean, they sit right there. I mean, you don't see people over there doing that. There's recordings of police, and they don't even know. People don't got smart and started walking around with little cameras on their shirt so that the police don't see them walk, so that they ain't just sitting there with their phone recording it, right? And yet people doesn't realize that they are being like puppets, led, manipulated. And then we have a nerve to sit up here and we want to, talk about this person, talk about that person. It's all just crazy, right? It's all just crazy, because for the simple fact, if you really wanted to get justice for somebody, you wouldn't do it in the manner of killing and harming and hurting people. Now, I'm just going to go on a limb and say that a lot of these people that are out there doing this stuff and allowing themselves to get caught up in the hype are probably Christians, lukewarm Christians that has not read their scripture and doesn't realize that vengeance is mine, says Yah. And then the news, they're not showing you the people that's gathering together in prayer. No, they don't want to show you that. They want to show you the ignorance of people and how people decide to destroy things out of fury and anger. Well, guess what, guys? From last that I read in my scripture, that the flesh is corrupted, and so therefore there is, unless you're walking in the ways of Yah, there is corruption in the land. And this is why Yah destroyed all the lands around Yasharel. This is why he destroyed the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. This is why he destroyed and had them removed from the land of Yisrael. Why? Because there was wickedness in the land, right? Let's touch on it real quick. And now I'm using scripture that I ain't even I don't even got wrote down, but I wanna go here. I wanna touch on some of these things. I ain't pulling up nothing today. I'm just straight up coming from whatever the Ruach give me, right? And I got scriptures written down, but I ain't even right now. I ain't even touching them. I wanna touch on what he's giving me. Watch this, guys. Watch this. Hosea chapter 4. This is what we're going on in Yasharel. This is what we're going on in Yasharel, and we see the same type of thing happening here, because people want to go get revenge for something that does, it doesn't have anything to do with you. If anybody is out trying to get justice, it should be the family. And yet they have riled up all of the black people in America. They have riled up all the Antifa people here in America. They're ready to cause anarchists, the anarchists. And so I think because Antifa is playing a part with this, they want to keep talking about Black Lives Matter, but I keep seeing different nationalities spraying this Black Lives Matter everywhere, except the problem is I'm not seeing black people spray painted anywhere. And yet we find it okay to tear up this store owner that poured his blood, sweat, and tears into it, that mom that's trying to raise her children because the no good man, not saying anything about the guy, but because the no good man left, or maybe because she's a widow and just trying to do her best to take care of business, right? I'm not just gonna say that the man left or whatever the case. It could be that she's a widow and she's trying to do her best to take care of her 2 kids. And here comes the ignoramuses, idiots coming along and destroying somebody else's property. And you know what? The first thing that they're gonna take an insurance claim out. Insurance is a fraud as well. But watch this, guys. Hosea chapter 4. Hear the word of Yahuwah, ye children of Yashael, for Yahuwah has a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, right? There's no truth, because what is the media giving us? They're not giving us truth. They're giving us the bits and pieces of information that they want us to see. Just like when that man, if that man was there and the EMTs showed up, why didn't the EMTs put him on the gurney and then do the proper procedures and checking his vitals and doing everything to make sure that they couldn't resuscitate him? Why? And why? I mean, I just don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense. They just flopped them on the gurney and rolled them off. Come on now. And then the police were right there with them rolling. When do after the EMTs hit the scene, the police are out of, you know, and why does a dead man need guards? Makes no sense. There's no truth, right? No truth. Guess what? No mercy. You know how I know there's no mercy? Because that man that was trying to protect his storefront property in Dallas, he looked like a folded pretzel by the time these people got through jumping on him and mauling him for trying to protect something that was his, right? And then I watch a helpless woman just, you know, she's like, okay, you know, and because she speaks up for her own property that they're running in and destroying and hitting and breaking stuff, and because something that she said maybe triggered their little feelings. No, she didn't say that to me. Punks. I'm gonna flat out say it like that. Punks. Because that little lady has more heart than one of them guys, and especially the one that stood off on the side watching them do it. Like, what should I do? Should I take up for my friends or should little punks? Simple and plain, right? Because there's no mercy. They remove that from the equation the moment that they decide to take vengeance into their own hands. And since there's no mercy in the land, guess what? There's no knowledge of Elohim in them. They don't know no knowledge of him. And then those of us that are taking our time to present the gospel, right? Hats off to each and every person that in this time is presenting the gospel to people, that is loving people, that is showing mercy to people, right? Because blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Why? Because the vengeance, when it comes, it's going to come and it's going to be on a level like no other time in the world. Like no other time in the world. And his wrath, man, hell have no fury compared to his wrath. Because when it comes down, and tomorrow we'll talk about this on Threshing Floor, the recompense of the wicked. We, brothers and sisters, we continue to walk in righteousness. If you want justice, let Yah handle the business. Stop trying to stand in the way. Stop trying to stand in the way. Does it bother me? Yes, it bothers me that we keep seeing these senseless things happen. But what about the guy that was a former police chief? And I can't remember, Florida, I think it was, or wherever the case. I can't remember exactly what place. And he was black, and he got shot. But did they say anything? Nah, because guess what? Black Lives Matter. But this guy, you know what I'm saying? He was a former police. Oh, because he was a former police, I guess his life don't matter, right? And then the police, the ones that are true to that oath, that join the service because they want to make a difference, are being mistreated, and those are probably the ones being hit rocks, being hit with stones, and trying to follow direction of corrupted, city officials and mayors and different people that's allowing the mayors. I would say not all mayors, because the Atlanta mayor is she stepped up and she said mouthful of stuff, and I wouldn't be surprised if they try to remove her eventually, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they don't try to remove her. It's saddened. It saddens me that the country, that everybody so want to flock to, right? But guess what, guys? This country was built off of blood, right? Because we came in, we savagely destroyed the Indians, killed them, and then said, hey, we'll give you some pieces of land and reservation. This is your reformation, right? Yeah. And then we turn around, right? And there's a battle between the Britons and the Americans, and there's blood being spilled. So from the time that this country was created or founded, let's say founded because y'all created this, from the time that it was founded, blood had been spilled. So this land has blood everywhere. Blood everywhere. And yet people and their own desire, their own lust to have, going in and stealing TVs, going in and breaking open registers. And then next week or 2 weeks from now, when prices is hiked up because you don't tore up all these businesses, you're going to wonder why. You're going to wonder why. Because your mentality goes no further than the TV. You can't see past what the TV is telling you. You don't open up a book. You don't take the time to read. You don't try to put dots together. All you want to do is cause ruckus, rampage. And you know what? You want to live in the land of the lawless? Yeah, he's going to give you the land of the lawless. Anybody see the Purge movie? Oh, this is what they want. They want to live in that type of society where people could just run around and rapidly kill each other, where people can just destroy other people's lives without even having a second thought about it. Yeah, that's what they want. And y'all said, you know what? You want to live in the corrupted land, fine. But guess what? The earth becomes when you become corrupted, then I allow the earth to start doing its thing too. And when the earthquakes start happening at a rapid pace, when you start seeing hurricanes and tornadoes and destruction of different things happening in all places, well, you have to understand that the earth also operates off of the emotions and the activities of the human, right? Of the human physique. Because when there's a lot of negativity, that charges the atmosphere spiritually. And don't think that the earth doesn't have a spiritual aspect behind it, because guess what? Guess where hell is? It's in the earth. It's the pit. It's called the pit. It's Sheol. It said it enlarges itself daily. And what happens once it enlarges enough? Why you think all these earthquakes and different things happening? It's making room. So boom, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And when we start seeing destruction in different places, I ain't talking about destruction of man, because man doing enough damage. But when y'all start allowing his angels to go forth and these demons to come and start rampaging, oh man, these people are gonna be so shook. They're gonna be so scared. These big bad men that want to beat little women, they're waiting till them demons get a hold of them. Start snatching them up by the ankle. Yeah, snatching them up by the ankle, ripping them in half. And so many people being deluded and falling into a delusion. Guess what, guys? When the aliens decide to come and they say, hey, these are our creators, people gonna be like, oh, ready to worship, because they're gonna have the solution. They're gonna have the solution, and people gonna be ready to jump. Let's look at some more of what Jose is saying. He said, because there is no truth, no mercy, nor knowledge of Elohim in the land. By swearing, right? You making oaths, judges, police officers, presidents. You making oaths and you ain't even following them. You ain't even keeping up with them. You're lying, right? Because by swearing and lying, you coming on there saying that this is happening, that's happening, and everything else, the whole shebang, but yet you're not following through with what you said that you would do in the oath, what you made in the covenant, right? With the people. And then it turns around and said, breaking wedlock. We see that happening. They break out and blood touches blood. What does blood touches blood mean? It means because you saw this man killed, you're going and revenge for him, right? You're going to get revenge for him. What is revenge, right? In Hebrew is nacham, right? To grudge, to avenge or punish. What is a grudge? It's a feeling or deep-seated resentment or ill will. You holding on to stuff so now in order for you to feel better, you want to go take it out on somebody else, right? Revenge, to avenge oneself or another, usually by retaliating in a kind of or degree, right? And then recompense, shalim, right? Requital. What is that? If you go to the root word etymology, which is shalom, which also means peace or covenant. I didn't put that part on there, but it also means peace or covenant, right? To requite, to recompense, to reward. What did Yahusha say? He said, your reward is with me when I return. And think about it like this. Some people are going to be rewarded to righteousness, but some people are going to be rewarded to hell and everlasting fire. Now look at recompense, an equivalent or return for something done, suffered, or given. So people feel like they have to, do God's job, to do his job, and they want to stand in the place and they want to be the ones that to lay out revenge. He didn't ask for nobody's help. And yet here we go. We see men standing on pulpit, making listen, I don't care how much scripture you try to put with it. It ain't never right to go back and take another man's life. It ain't never right to listen. I be darned. Nobody better not come around here yelling house arrest and then talking about some Black Lives Matter. I don't know. All lives matter. And nobody ain't standing up about the little babies that's being killed every day. Nobody ain't standing up. All the information that was coming out about little kids coming out of the ground and some little farming facilities so that these people could drink their blood to get the adrenochrome. Ain't nobody stood up for that, right? Ain't nobody stood up for that. Nah, why? Because it's okay. They still got a full life ahead of them. Devil is a lie. You will rally and stand up for the stupidest thing, but people will not. And I don't mean y'all. I mean people, right? They will stand up and rally for the stupidest things, but when pure information about stuff like that is happening and coming to your attention, especially about little kids, what happened? Listen, why didn't nobody? I think it was in Chicago or somewhere when the three women, right? It was three women chained up inside of a man's house. One of the women got free, and all three of them they ended up saying that they forgive him, but he was having babies with them. They were chained up, and one of them they got free and ended up finally getting set free. This man had them for years. Did anybody go try to lynch him? No. Nobody didn't try to lynch him. And these women were of different nationality. Oh, that they don't matter though, right? Nobody wanted to get revenge for them. Revenge ain't right, no matter how people try to put it. And so when it comes down to it, Yah said that vengeance is mine. Yahusha said that he will handle business when he come back. He don't need us standing in nobody. He don't need us standing in his place. He got this. But yet we see that these people want to gather together and talk about they doing a peaceful protest. Now you have certain ones out there that are doing peaceful protest. But when I start hearing no justice, no peace, come on. What is that saying? Huh? What is that really entailing? And like I said, the whole Black Lives Matter movement, man, That's just another form of division. That's ignorance. That's ignorance, right? That's ignorance. And like I said, what happens when Hispanics stand up and they say Hispanic lives matter? What happens when the white people get up and say white lives matter? And I don't mean white people in that sense. I'm just saying like Ku Klux Klan or whatever. I'm just throwing it out there because I'm mixed nationality, right? I'm a mixture. So I was always kind of the outcast when in school or wherever. It boggles my mind. It boggles my mind how this country can still be separated by segregation. How this country could still be torn apart just by a few words being said. A few words. That's all it takes is a few words for the news, right? The news to present. And then next thing you know, this whole movement is brought forth. What's the deal with that? Right? Who gives them the right? Who gives the person that decides to go and lay out a pallet of bricks? How did them get out there, by the way? A pallet of bricks. Not only that, guys, bottles of water that are frozen so that they can throw them like the bricks. Come on now, this is this whole thing is a setup, and people's eyes, it's like they got the wool over their eyes. They cannot see. They cannot see. Why? Because they're sheeple and they're simple. And they don't wanna see past the front door. They want to see whatever that's being presented to them, and they fall into it. And guess what? The elites sit back and they say, "We got them, we got them." And so now they say they get. You know what? Let's push on that agenda. That hey, the COVID-19 thing didn't work, so let's hey, come on. I need this guy now. Is information coming out that this guy was in the cop now that supposedly got locked up. Now they show him on this man's neck, supposedly killing him, but they won't show him in handcuffs being, taken to jail. They won't show him, going to try. They ain't showing none of that, right? They show you what they want you to see. It's sleight of hand. It's a magician's trick. They showing you what they want you to see. They're playing around with they're using psychology on us. They're using psychology on us and not realizing that we don't realize it. We just like, oh, it's psychology. It's simple psychology. And you know why they know that they can get over on you? Because not you, I'm talking to everybody, right? Because they know that people don't read, they know that people don't know history, and they know that people. I bet you nobody or most people come across that video that we did on Thirst Flow don't even know about Abraham's Lyceum speech. They don't know who Joseph McCarter is. They don't know none of those speeches that came for. Why? Because they don't look it up. And guess what? It's all right there. Why? Because they rather look at somebody's ramby-pamby feed from Facebook and run with whatever the story is. They rather look at somebody supposedly recording her boyfriend get shot by a cop. And when her reaction isn't, oh my goodness, they shot him in front and it wasn't that. It was like, oh my goodness, is he dead? I mean, she was so nonchalant, and yet people flock to it like, what? And then how is it? I got a good phone, and it records very well. Now, one thing is, I understand that they do major things with these cameras, but what kind of microphone did she have on that phone that it picked up this guy from so many yards away saying what he said so clearly? Oh, they doctored it up because they got this thing called HD modifier where you can modify what's being said, or right, you can use a recorder to edit in the video to make it look like that's being said. You know how I know? Because I edit videos and I do stuff like that all the time. Not putting words where I don't want it, but I play around and I could take away and I could add and I could chop up and I could separate and I could put together and I could paste and I could do all that stuff. So why, right? Why is it that we decide the first thing that is best to do is start destroying our stuff? Let's destroy. Okay. I'm baffled. You know why? Why is it? It's because when you go to this, right? Verse 3 in Hosea chapter 4, it says, therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwells therein shall languish, and the beasts of the field with the fowls of heaven, yea, the fish of the sea also shall be taken away. Yea, let no man strive nor reprove another, for your people are as they that strive with the priests. Therefore shall you fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall with you in the night, and I will destroy your mother. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. That's basically what it is. They're destroyed for the lack of knowledge, right? Because you have rejected the knowledge, I will also reject you. That you shall be no priest to me, seeing you have forgotten the Torah of your Elohim, I will also forget your children. Now, guys, we know that scripture says that the elect, even the very elect, shall be deceived if it was possible, right? Because of little, things that we would see happening. And I'll be honest with y'all, one of the false prophets that's in the world is this media. It saddens me that just to look at the news, you get so much negative information. And then at the end, they want to give you one rabby-pabby little story about a kitten that was saved. They ain't telling about the miracles of people being healed that went through cancer, right? They ain't talking about none of that. They ain't talking about people that's recovering from people that's recovered from COVID-19. Let's just only talk about the deaths. Let's only just talk about the count getting higher. Yeah, how many people recovered, right? Yeah, that count is half as high as many people that had it. And yet, because people don't look up things like this, they fear and walk around with the mask on, muzzled. Shut up. That's what they're saying. Shut up. We don't want to hear your opinion. Shut up. Who are you? Go home. Get in your house. You're under house arrest, right? And we accept it. And then when we go to the store, it's like we're going to prison. Go this way, go that way. Don't go that way, go this way. Accept it, right? We choose the path that we're on, and so many are on the path of destruction because they don't recognize. They don't recognize. They don't see. They're not trying to understand. They're not trying to grasp anything. They just wanna enjoy. Let's try to get the best out of it while we can. Yeah, you keep trying to enjoy this life and watch where it puts you at. It's gonna put you at the wrong end of the spectrum, right? Let's talk about this real quick. Jeremiah, right? The people the people of the time in Jeremiah, we ain't worried about that. Everything gonna be good. Ain't nothing gonna happen to us. That's what they kept saying, right? They kept slapping Jeremiah, throwing him down in the cave and in the pit, throwing him in the well, just treating them wrong. And you know what? I humbly accept that slap. I accept that every time people click off and don't want to hear the message. That same thing that Jeremiah went through. They don't want to hear the message. Just think about it. In that time, they didn't have buttons and different things. They hit him literally, right? Or they just got away. So every time they click on one of our videos or a video of truth, and then they click off because that ain't gonna happen. That's me being thrown in the jail or being slapped or being degraded for the name's sake of Yah. And I accept that. Hallelujah. Praise his holy name. Because that's what we see happening. All the prophets had to go through it. All the ministers of Yah, anybody that spoke his word in spirit and in truth, guess what? They had to go through the baptism of tribulation. Yeah, I said it, the baptism of tribulation. Going through your troubles, rejoicing as you go through them. Going through your troubles, rejoicing as you go through them. That's the baptism of tribulation. Endure your trials, right? Because as you go through that fire and you're refined, something begins to happen. There's a changing, a stirring that allows those embers of fire to just kindle something new. Hallelujah. It kindles something new. Let's talk about this. Jeremiah chapter 46, verse 10. It said, for this is the day of Adonai Yahuwah Sabaoth, a day of vengeance, that he may avenge him of his adversaries, and the sword shall devour, and it shall be satiate and made drunk with their blood. For Adonai Yahuwah Sabaoth has a sacrifice in the north country by the river Parat. Now we know that he was talking about what was coming forth into what was going to happen to Yashrael, and guys, we had to really look. We're on the brink. We're on the brink, right? Let's look at another one. Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51, verses 4 through 11. Watch what it says. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldean, and they that are thrust through in her streets. For Yashrael has not been forsaken for Yahudah of his Elohim, of Yahuwah Sabaoth, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Yashrael. Flee out of the midst of Babel and deliver every man his soul. So listen to this, guy. We all have to do. Every man has to deliver his own soul. Work out your salvation with fear and trembling, right? Be not cut off in her iniquity. So we see it happening. We separate ourselves. Come out of her, my people. Right? We see it happening. We separate ourselves. For this is the time of Yahuwah's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Why? It's because what we just read in Hosea chapter 4. There's no truth, no mercy, no justice in the land, and no knowledge of Elohim. And so guess what? Those of you that do know him, because he's not saying that there's not quite no not. He's saying that most of the majority of people that was, supposed to be priests, supposed to be prophets, they became corrupt. They were supposed to be ones throwing out the justice of Yah, but yet they chose to walk in their own way. And so, guys, we that hear the word, that know the word, that obey the word, we work out our own salvation through delivering ourselves, right? Through hearing the word and getting out of the way. Oh, y'all coming? It's just like, listen, it's just like when you were kids. You seen Big Brother getting a whooping. Guess what the other kids gonna do? They gonna fall in line because they don't want to get a whipping. And guess what? I don't want to be a part of his vengeance. It says that some people will be cut in half, some people will be sawn asunder, some people will be thrown in the lake of fire. Some people will, oh my goodness, the things that gonna happen, they're gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. Let's keep going. Verse 7. Babel has been a golden cup in Yahuwah's hand. Now listen, he's using another country, another nation of people to bring swift vengeance to his people, or swift vengeance on his behalf because of what his people did. That's how I want to put it, because they destroyed the covenant. Right? Babel has been a golden cup in Yahuwah's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babel is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. Now, okay, he used Babel as an instrument of destruction for vengeance on his behalf. But guess what he did? After Babel brought his people into captivity, did them wrong, he used another nation for his vengeance on Babel for treating his people wrong. So see, it's in God's hand regardless, right? So look now, verse 9, because now Babel is he's prophesying that Babel will be destroyed, right? And if you're there, you need to get yourself together and get out or find a place of refuge, right? Look what it says, verse 9. We would have healed Babel, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven. Guess what, guys? The judgment of this place, it reaches up to heaven. It's been going on for quite too long. It's been going on for quite too long, and y'all say he's disgusted with it. I'm disgusted with what these people have become, right? It said it reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. I mean, when you have preachers, you know, they blaming it on the president. Oh, it's the president's fault. Oh my goodness. So they say that Obama did such a good job, but he allowed like the whole nation. I know certain states had the same-sex marriage law, but he put supreme justices in place so that this law could be passed. But yet he was so great. I don't trust not now president. I don't trust not now president, but I will not degrade neither one of them neither, because I know it's Yah that raises up kings and removes them, right? Look at verse 9. We would have healed Babel, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone to his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Yahuwah has brought forth our righteousness. His justice is going to come forth, right? Come and let us declare in Sion the work of Yahuwah Eloheinu. He's gonna move, brothers and sisters. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahuwah has raised up the ruach of the kings of Madai for his devices against Babel to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahuwah, right? The vengeance of his temple. Now, this was before the temple was even destroyed by Babel. He's already doing he's prophesying the message. So I'm telling you now, this right here, this is the temple of Yah. And many people are being harmed and hurt because of, you know, this so-called harming of one man, and they have an eye for eye, tooth for tooth mentality. That was no. Yahusha said, don't do it that way no more, right? Blessed all the peacemakers, right? Blessed all the peacemakers, and yet people have decided to do things in their own way. Let's look at Nahum. Yes, I said Nahum. Nahum chapter 1, verse 2. Watch this. The burden starting from verse 1. The burden of Nineveh, the sufferer of the vision of Nahum, the El-Kishi. El is jealous, and Yahuwah revenges. Yahuwah revenges and is furious. Yahuwah will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserves wrath for his enemies. And guess what, guys? Anybody that's choosing to take justice into their own hands is an enemy of Yah, because he said vengeance is mine. And so therefore that means that I need to stand out of the way and allow him to operate. But guys, the most important thing that we can be doing is praying for the mercy that people receive mercy, right? That people receive mercy. Let's look at another one. Psalm 58. Psalm 58. Let's look what it says. Psalm 58, verse 10. It says, the righteous shall rejoice, right? The righteous shall rejoice when he sees the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. Uh-oh. But who will? The righteous. Those that seek justice and allowing Yah to be the rightful judge. And I have no right to judge how any of this goes down. Only thing that I'm supposed to do is pray on behalf of it. I don't stand in the way of Yah. I learned to get out of his way. Like I said, it's like when a parent comes to whoop one child, the rest of the children gonna get out the way. I ain't trying to get hit. I ain't trying to get hit not one bit. Especially for getting whooped for what this dude did. You know what I mean? A lot of times it was my brothers not getting the whooping. I was the one getting the whooping. So they knew to get out the way when they seen it coming. So But it said that the righteous will wash their feet in the blood of the wicked. Watch this, verse 11. So that a man shall say, truly there is a reward for the righteous. Truly he is an Elohim that judges in the earth. So we stand back and we let Yah do what he gonna do, because he's gonna judge. He's the judge of the earth. It ain't our place to try to, oh, I'm gonna handle this, I'm gonna do this. Nah, y'all ain't asked us to do nothing. He said pray. He said intercede. And the whole Ruach HaKodesh ain't leading you to harm nobody. Nah, it ain't. The Ruach HaKodesh is gonna put you in a place of submission to fall on your face when you see all this mess happening. I ain't got no business out there trying to talk about I'm doing a peaceful protest. And then next thing you know, all it takes is one person to throw a brick and everybody else fall in line with it. Come on, that's conformity, right? That's conformity. What is Romans chapter 12? Romans chapter 12. Look at this. Let's read Romans chapter 12. What does it say? What does it say? Romans chapter 12. I said, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yah, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto Yahuwah, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yah. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as Yahuwah has dealt to every man the measure of belief. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we being many are one body of Mashiach, and every one members one of another, having then gifts different according to the grace that is given to us. Whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of belief, or ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teaches on teaching, or he that exhorts on exhortation. He that gives, let him do it with simplicity. He that rules with diligence. He that shows mercy with cheerfulness. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another. Not slothful in business, fervent in the Ruach, serving Yahuwah, rejoicing in hope, patience in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer, distributing to the necessity of the Kadashim, given to hospitality. Bless them which persecute you, bless and curse not. Rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep. Be of the same mind one toward another. Mind not things, but condescend to men of low estate. Be not wise of your own conceits. Recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of men. Look, God, it said, if it be possible, as much as lies in you, live peaceably with all men. With all men. Because God, watch what he say right here. Verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says Yahuwah. Therefore, if your enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in doing so, you shall heap coals of fire on his head. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. Overcome evil with good. Don't be, out there acting a fool and tearing up and causing destruction and living a life that is not pleasing in y'all's eyesight. Wow. It's sad. Let's look at the wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 1. Verse 8. Therefore, he that speaks unrighteous things cannot be hid, neither shall vengeance when it punishes pass by him. It means when you see this coming on, you need to keep going. Don't allow yourself to get caught up in the mess that you see happening. Don't allow you. Listen, you just as bad if you post the stuff in Facebook. You just as bad if you send up that post stuff on Instagram or any of your social media, anything, and you're playing a part in any of this, any of the Black Lives Matter, whatever. It ain't got leave it alone. Let y'all put a prayer up there. Don't get involved in that. Don't sit up there and lie yourself to George Floyd this, George Floyd that. Listen, I feel bad for the family. I prayed for the family, and I'm still praying for them. And I pray that everything isn't what it seems. You know what I mean? That it isn't all a delusion just to program people. Because if it is, vengeance is still his, because he's gonna handle those that's in the deception. Remember, evil men gonna wax worse and worse, right? They're gonna be deceiving while deceiving themselves. That's just in prophecy. That's what's gonna happen. The men ain't gonna get better. Just simple as that. They're not gonna get better. It's just gonna get worse and worse, right? It ain't going back to, well, it ain't been there. It always been corruption, but it's just getting worse and worse, right? It's just getting worse and worse, and it ain't nothing that we can do about it. We just have to we had to roll with the punches. Know how to bob and weave, right? Still in the wisdom of Solomon, verse 31. For it is not the power of them by whom they swear, but it is the just vengeance of sinners that punishes always the offense of the wicked. So when the vengeance comes, it's coming on the wicked. His vengeance is coming on the wicked, and there's nothing that's gonna change that. That's inevitable. Just like this so-called rapture that everybody, these and guys, I tell you, it's brothers and sisters that walk in Torah that are waiting on a rapture. I was just like, oh my goodness, like how is it that we can be so caught up in the minor things and just leave the gospel? We don't make the gospel the centerpiece anymore. Like Yahusha is the stone that the builders refuse. He's the cornerstone. Without the cornerstone, the rest of the building can't be built. That's what starts the foundation, the cornerstone, and yet it's left out. It's left out. Oh yeah, they talk about him coming, but the first thing, we're being raptured away so that we don't have to go through anything while everybody else is here suffering. But scripture turns around and says, if you suffer with me, you shall reign with me. And yet I'm still baffled at how so many people read the same scriptures that we read. And I'm not sitting up here saying that I have it all together. Not saying that. But one of the first things that he broke down to me, and I wasn't even out of church, is that there is no such thing as the rapture. And as soon as I started preaching that in the little church and telling people that in the churches, oh man, it was like I was the enemy of the state. Because they want to be taken to Ramby-Pamby land. They want to be in a delusion. They strive after it, right? They're not striving for perfection. They're striving just to be whisked away into this magical little Ramby-Pamby land that's gonna keep them from harm and danger. How could they have got the promised land if they didn't go to the danger? They had to go towards the danger. It was giants there. They had to go cut these giants down in order to get the land, right? They had to, because he said, "I'm giving you a land flowing with milk and honey." But listen, it ain't gonna be easy. You want me to just you don't want to have to go through then. So later on, you can sit up there and say that I did this. Basically, self did this, and y'all didn't have nothing to do with it. And that's what we see happening. We see that, like, they created America, like they formed this earth, like they formed the waters and all that stuff. They did it, right? This is our land. There, you could get this land for a portion of this property, this taxes. Man, get out of here. I'm just saying. It's crazy. They airspace and ocean territory and all this different type of stuff. When the earth is his and the fullness thereof, and guess what, guys? We're gonna rule this one day. We're gonna rule this. One day. I said that wrong. Let's look at Ecclesiasticus. Oh, Ecclesiasticus. Chapter 5, verse 7. Look what it says. Make no tarrying to turn to Yahuwah, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of Yahuwah come forth, and in your security you shall be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. Do you see this? And perish in the day of vengeance. Wow. That's he said, look, let's read that one more time, because when I read it, I was just like, whoa. Make no tarrying to turn to Yahuwah. Don't waste time. Don't be sitting up there saying, I come to one, well, I gotta get myself together. Oh, he said, don't waste time coming to Yahuwah. Meaning, while you have time to prepare, right? And put not off from day to day. Don't put it off from day to day saying, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll obey tomorrow. I'll do it. No. It says, for suddenly shall the wrath of Yahuwah come forth, and in your security, when you think everything is secure, and that's what they're trying to steal your thoughts, steal your mind, steal your place of, so that you can seek and have security through their way of living. And when that day comes and you say, oh man, we're good, everything's secure, because now what do we want? We want peace and safety. So when peace and safety comes in, sudden destruction comes, right? But look, and in your security, you shall be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. Why? Because you got comfortable. And that's what we want. We want to be comfortable. We want to enjoy the what this life has to give. We're not trying to prepare for the life to come. Look what y'all saying now. Look what y'all is saying, guys. Watch this. This is the words of Messiah right here. He said in Luke 21, watch this, brothers and sisters. Luke. Okay, I'm going to start from verse 17. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but there shall not be a hair of your head perish. He said, in your patience, possess your souls. Now, this time in, getting yourself together. Don't wait, right? He said, and when you shall see Jerusalem, now we know what he's talking about here, compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is near. Then let them which are in Judah flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Now we know that he was talking about AD 70 when the temple was destroyed, and the nation was finally just, when they made everybody disperse out of that nation, they burnt it down to the ground, right? And so Yahusha gave that warning to them then. And so he's giving a clear warning now that we need to be ready. He said we need to be, and your patience possesses your soul. Meaning we need to have ourselves prepared with him, have our hearts right with him, because when his vengeance comes, it ain't gonna overlook those that just decide to walk if you ain't on that straight and narrow path, everything on that path of destruction is getting destroyed, because it's called the broad path of destruction. You're gonna be destroyed, simple and plain. Now let's look at one last a couple of scriptures. Second Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 8. Watch what it said. And flaming fire taking vengeance on them that know not Yahuwah, that obey not the gospel of our Adonai Yahusha HaMashiach, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of Yahuwah and from the glory of his power, when he shall come to be glorified in his saints and to be admired in all them that believe, because our testimony among you was believed in that day. So that's why I'm telling you guys, we have ourselves together. So when he comes, he's glorified through our testimony. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Guys, so much happening. And as we see these things happening, we do not allow ourselves to get caught up in it. We do not allow ourselves to get caught up in it because Yah has the last say so. He has the last say so, and regardless of what Hebrews chapter 10 verse 30 says, for we know him that has said, vengeance belongs unto me, I will recompense, says Yahuwah, and again Yahuwah shall judge his people. So brothers and sisters, keep your minds and your hearts on Yah. And as Tameka always say, gird up your loins. In other words, that's a Hebrew idiom. Be ye ready. Be ye ready, right? Guys, thank y'all for joining up. I know that I went longer than normal. I'm just tired of all the foolishness. We, brothers and sisters, we have to be on target. We have to get ourselves together. And you know, there's areas of our life we continue to work on that we know ain't right in God's eyesight. We continue to work on. I'm working on my patience. I'm working on my frustration. Tameka says that I'm intimidating a lot of times with people, the way that I speak, certain things that I say, and it's a hard thing to break. I mean, I try to be kind, I try to be gentle, but I really don't like foolishness, and I don't like people to try to play me for a fool. And so I like, you beat around the bush. I don't do the beat around the bush thing. I just go ahead and say what you need to say. So, and I try to be straightforward as much as I can with people. So, guys, tomorrow we'll be back. I don't know. I want to try to have 6 people on tomorrow. I know that's a lot. Tomorrow I'm gonna be pretty busy, but I don't know yet. I may have to push that the next week, what I'm trying to do. But tomorrow we'll be talking about the recompense of the wicked. So guys, join up with us tomorrow night. I thank y'all for joining up with us tonight. I truly, truly love each and every one of my brothers and sisters that joined up. And if you are enjoying the messages that's coming forth, we're on day 72. Tomorrow will be day 73. Hit that like button when you hear the choo-choo sound. Hallelujah. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go. I love y'all. Yahuwah loves you. Don't forget to say thank you, Yahusha. Love you guys. We'll be talking soon. Shalom, shalom. House of Rest.